I was standing in my own kitchen when I heard my name spoken like a liability. Not lovingly, not respectfully, like a problem to be solved. The voices came from the living room, my son and his new wife, hushed but careless, riding the confidence of privacy they didn't have. I stood still, one hand on the marble counter, the other wrapped around a cup that had gone cold. "She doesn't need to know everything," my son said. "Yet," his wife replied, "not until we're sure." That was the moment, the fracture, the quiet snap of something I'd spent a lifetime building. I didn't walk in, I didn't interrupt, I listened, and I learned who they thought I was. I raised my son to believe silence meant patience, not weakness. His father, my husband, used to say our strength was quiet, that real power never announces itself, it waits. When my husband died, the world assumed grief had hollowed me out. The funeral was crowded, the condolences were loud, the questions about money were subtle. I answered none of them. The inheritance came later. $53 million. Investments, trusts, liquid assets, clean, legal, carefully structured in my name alone. I told no one, not my friends, not my family, not even my son. When he announced his engagement, I smiled. I paid for the wedding. I hugged his bride. I toasted to their future with steady hands. I watched closely. The signs came fast once the ring was on her finger. The sudden interest in my estate planning, the casual jokes about downsizing, the way my son stopped asking how I was and started asking what I planned to do next. I noticed the new lawyer's card on my dining table, not mine. I noticed documents moved, not stolen yet. I noticed how conversations stopped when I entered rooms. Betrayal rarely kicks down the door. It rearranges the furniture and waits for you to trip. The proof arrived on my phone, an email forwarded by mistake, a spreadsheet, my name listed like an obstacle, timelines, percentages, contingencies. They weren't waiting for me to die. They were planning to make me disappear legally first, declared incompetent, moved to a facility, assets managed by my own son. I sat there for a long time after reading it, not crying, not shaking, calculating. I didn't confront them. I didn't warn them. I thanked the universe for my silence. And then I moved. First, legal. I hired a firm that specialized in quiet wars. No drama, no leaks. We reviewed everything. I created irrevocable trusts. I placed assets beyond reach. I documented my mental competence with ruthless thoroughness. Doctors, psych evaluations, recorded statements. Second, financial. I separated accounts they knew about from accounts they didn't. I let them see a version of me that looked comfortable but limited, predictable, diminishing. Third, emotional. I played the role they'd cast me in, the aging mother, the grateful grandmother-to-be. I asked for advice. I listened. I let them believe the plan was working. Fourth, social. I spoke quietly to the right people, friends of my husband, old colleagues, people who understood leverage and loyalty. I left a trail just visible enough. And then I waited. The confrontation happened at a dinner they hosted. New house, expensive wine, confidence on display. They thought it was time. They slid papers across the table with rehearsed concern. Power of attorney, medical recommendations, a future for my own good. My son couldn't look me in the eye. I signed nothing. Instead, I slid my own folder forward, thicker, heavier. I watched their faces as they read, the trusts, the asset protections, the legal opinions, the recorded evidence, and finally, the clause. Any attempt to declare me incompetent or seize control would trigger a full forensic audit and immediate disinheritance from everything connected to my husband's estate, including what they didn't know existed. Silence fell hard. I told them then, calmly,
precisely, about the 53 million, about how long I'd had it, about why I never mentioned it. Because I needed to know who you were, I said, when you thought I had nothing. My daughter-in-law cried first. My son went pale. I stood up, buttoned my coat, and left them at the table with the future they'd designed collapsing in real time. Now I sit alone in a house that finally feels like mine again. I didn't lose a son. I gained clarity. Power doesn't shout. It listens. It waits for people to reveal themselves, and then it moves, cleanly, legally, permanently. I stayed silent when my son got married. Thank goodness I did, because silence showed me everything.